2024 brought a lot of amazing products to the table. The market has been flooded with innovation, excitement, new ideas, some failures as well. And 5 shoes really blew me away in many different reasons, and I will just break them down one by one. This is not sponsored, this is my opinion. And if you have a different opinion, if your short list of 5 shoes, 5 best shoes of 2024 is different, let me know in the comments. I look forward to reading your personal list. It doesn't have to be 5, you can just put 2, 3 shoes down there, even 1, your favorite shoe of the year. I just look forward to hearing from you. The first shoe for these 2024 shoe awards or best shoes of 2024 is the ASICS Superblast 2. The ASICS Superblast 1 was one of my favorite shoes. It allowed me to train for the Tokyo Marathon in 2023 in a very pleasant way, kind of, logging mileage without even noticing. And the Superblast 2 is doing kind of the same in a similar fashion. I wouldn't say the Superblast 2 is better than the 1 or anything like that. They're very similar shoes. I initially found it a bit firmer than the original Superblast, but after using it a bit, it broke in, and I logged quite some mileage throughout the summer in this specific shoe, and also the Proto colorway, the white version that I had. So the 2 shoes got some mileage. You can do everything in this shoe. It's that all-rounder type of shoe that offers you leg protection and a very comfortable upper fit experience. In terms of purposes, I did some easy recovery jogs in this shoe simply because it was in my suitcase when I was traveling. I was taking just this shoe and I could also log these very easy miles. Whenever I had a threshold session or a tempo run that was lined up on my agenda, I could also very easily take this shoe and do everything in it. It's not inexpensive, but you definitely have a fantastic bang for your buck. ASICS Superblast 2, it had to be among the 5. Hoka Mach 6. It's hard to define the level of surprise I had when I discovered the Mach 6. I was a fan of the Mach 4, my excitement dropped a little bit with the Mach 5, and Mach 6 just resurrected every ounce of excitement I have for the Mach series. I was on the edge between this and the Mach X2, to be honest. I was actually even very, very close, a hair away from putting the 2 shoes, the Mach X2 and the Mach 6 in this video. There's only one of the 2, it's the Mach 6. Why is it so fantastic? First of all, because of the price point. For that 140, 150 euro dollars, you get a shoe that offers you a non-plated experience with a more traditional foam. It's not that super modern PBA, TPE type of foam, and in that sense, for enhanced EVA, it's pretty fantastic. I did recommend this shoe to many people this year. Some of them actually purchased it, some good friends, and they are loving every second they spend in this shoe. The upper construction doesn't necessarily bring all the bells and whistles compared to the midsole. This is where everything is happening to me. The midsole, you get a closer to the ground experience without feeling the ground too much. It's that golden space where you're not crazy in terms of stack height, but you also get some benefits of training a bit more with your feet muscles and feeling a bit more the ground. The ride is zesty, super energetic, but not in a kind of artificial way. It's really you working and the shoes slightly helping you, but not too much. I did enjoy also the outsole and geometry of the shoe in general. It has a very natural feel to it, but it is a bit helped with that long rocker here in the forefoot without it being too dramatic. I highly recommend this shoe among the 5 that I'm introducing today as best shoes of the year to anyone who is that beginner to intermediate runner and is looking for an all-rounder shoe that is capable of everything, even on a budget, because you can find this shoe discounted at a very good price. And for more advanced runners, this shoe can be your track day shoe when you want to hit some faster paces on the track. It can also be your companion for endurance runs, threshold sessions. You can do them all in this shoe. Again, an all-rounder that's kind of hit all the marks. Mach 6 had to be in the 5. Diadora Gara Carbon, I had to put it in the 5 shoes because this is probably, together with another shoe from On, the light spray version of the Cloudboom Strike, these 2 shoes blew me away in terms of innovation and surprise. The light spray is not here in this list simply because of the upper that is not breathable enough and that restricts a bit the use cases for me personally. The Gara Carbon made it because it is maybe the perfect racer this year, released by a brand that not many people were aware of. Yet it's a brand that is growing on everyone who tries their shoes, and for a good reason. It is made with the heart and soul of people in Italy. Not this one specifically, but they have a made in Italy shoe, which I also discovered about this brand. And they put many efforts into designing what they believe is the perfect race day shoe. A matrix upper, which was very comfortable, perfect fit, great laces. The midsole was so energetic, so bouncy, so compliant, yet also so serious in a sense because you could just rely on it no matter the distance. The price point and the availability could have been some drawbacks, but because of everything this shoe does in almost a perfect manner, I almost do not mind the price and the availability. They will probably improve on that front, at least the availability side of things. They know they sent it out of the park with this shoe, and it's probably a very good incentive for them to make it more available so that people can experience the Diadora Gara Carbon. I raced in this shoe this year. I would race again in it next year, simply because I trust it and I trust that it can provide me with great results whenever I line up for a race. Diadora, huge congrats. This is definitely one of the 5. Adidas Evo SL. It's the elephant in the room simply because of, everyone saying it's one of the best shoes of 2024. And when everyone says something, I want to at least try and prove them wrong, because maybe sometimes it's a bit overinflated by hype and marketing. And if they're not wrong, then I want to myself make a good opinion and make sure that I understand why people believe it's such a good product. The Evo SL is a great product, and the reason is that it has, a foam that does wonders. This version of Lightstrike Pro is the same as on the Adios Pro 3, a shoe that won medals, broke records, and the foam itself is really good. The issue it had on the Adios Pro 3 was the upper of the Adios Pro 3 and probably the rods to a certain extent, which were not allowing this foam to express itself to the full to its full capacity. With the Evo SL, Adidas removed the rods. There is just a midfoot shank right here in this shoe, and you get a shoe that is the perfect up-tempo companion for every fast pace that you have in your training regimen. The upper is not perfect, and that says a lot about how good the midsole is, because the midsole is just balancing out that not perfect upper. The upper is not bad, but the tongue is just too short. The laces are pressurizing a bit the top of the foot. And in general, if this shoe had anything like the Adios Pro 4 or Adios 9 upper, it would be maybe the perfect shoe. I hope the Evo SL2 gets an update on the upper and gets that light lock system and the new upper material that Adidas implemented on the Adios Pro 4 and Adios 9, because again, it could be a killer. What did I do with the shoe? What will I do with the shoe? Well, first of all, this is the shoe I ran the most in the months of October and November, if I remember well. It has probably around 150 kilometers for me. It doesn't show any signs of wear and tear on the outsole, and that's a fantastic thing for a shoe that costs only 150 euros. It's also a good illustration of how tech and innovation trickle down from top models like the Evo 1 that Adidas released in 2023 down to inline products like the Evo SL. I did enjoy running in this shoe at all sorts of paces, and if I had to pick one shoe in my suitcase for a week of vacation, I would probably pick this one over many others. And last but not least, we have the Brooks Hyperion Elite 4 PB. The regular Brooks Hyperion Elite 4 released a year ago, and there was no chance for it to make it in the 5 best shoes of this year. However, this one, which is releasing right now as we speak in December of 2024, is a completely different animal because of one single difference. And that's the DNA Gold midsole that has been brought to this shoe. It's a PBA-based midsole. It replaces a nitrogen-infused EVA midsole on the Hyperion Elite 4, which didn't feel as energetic, didn't feel as bouncy as this one does. The rest of the Hyperion Elite 4, the predecessor of this shoe, was already very good. The upper, streamlined upper, very comfortable material, good fit. The Aris composite plate is a plate that allows to have multi-directional rigidity and flexibility, so it is a bit more rigid in one direction, a bit less so in the other one, allowing for a very natural yet performance-oriented experience. The outsole of the shoe works very well, and one simple difference moving from an older compound to a brand new one, much more modern, made this shoe go from, to be honest, the bottom of the charts up to one of the best racers I have ever tried, and not just in 2024. So kudos to Brooks for, giving themselves the opportunity to address an issue that was mentioned by many reviewers, probably their athletes as well. And kudos to them as well for pulling this one off in between seasons and between the 4 and the 5, which is also coming later in 2025. This shoe blew me away. I did many sessions in it and I will keep on running in it. I will race in it in 2025 for sure. I already know which race I will do in this shoe. And I am excited to be racing in it in 2025. I already know which race. I'm excited because I know it will help me maybe break a record or at least be very, very performant on that specific race. It's a very good shoe, 100%, and it had to be among the 5. Well, thanks a lot for watching. These are the 5 best shoes, my 5 best shoes of 2024. Let's link to some 2025 previews right here. And with that, ciao.